My boss fired me to hide his daughter's mistake. Then the auditor called. I don't know if writing this will make me feel better, but I've been carrying it for a while now and I can't exactly tell anyone in my personal life without looking bitter or like I'm holding a grudge. But this whole thing still keeps me up at night sometimes. I worked at a mid-sized company for almost 15 years. Not huge, not tiny. Enough that we had multiple departments and an HR team, but small enough that everyone pretty much knew each other by name. I started out right after college in an entry-level role and slowly worked my way up. Over the years, I put in ridiculous hours, took on projects that weren't technically mine, and I got to know our systems inside and out. I was proud of what I built there. When the original founder retired, his son-in-law, Jared, stepped in as CEO. From the jump, he rubbed me the wrong way. He was the type that bragged about his Ivy League degree, even though everyone could see he'd been handed opportunities the rest of us had to fight for. He liked to make flashy changes that looked good in board meetings, but didn't make sense on the ground. The worst part was how much he coddled his daughter, Lauren, who had just graduated and was suddenly brought in to learn the business. Lauren was put into my department, supposedly to shadow me. At first I tried to take her under my wing, but she never listened. She'd come in late, scroll on her phone during meetings, then act like she discovered new processes we'd been using for years. The team was frustrated, but no one wanted to say anything because she was the boss's kid. Then one quarter things blew up. We handle a lot of client billing and record keeping, and Lauren was supposed to reconcile one of the bigger accounts. I reminded her multiple times, even sent her step-by-step instructions. She brushed me off, said she had it handled. Weeks later, I find out she never did it. A major client's account was off by hundreds of thousands, invoices weren't processed correctly, and when I tried to bring it up, she acted shocked, like it was news to her. I pulled the records and tried to quietly fix it before it became a fire, but word got to Jared. He called me into his office with HR sitting there. I thought maybe we'd be discussing how to prevent mistakes like this in the future, but instead Jared laid into me. He accused me of negligence, said I had failed to properly train his daughter, and claimed the mess was on my shoulders. I sat there stunned. HR just nodded along like they already had their script. By the end of the week, I was fired. 14 years gone, my career, my team, everything I had poured into that place, all erased because Jared needed to protect his daughter from looking incompetent. Walking out of that building for the last time was one of the most humiliating moments of my life. People I had mentored and supported for years looked at me with pity in their eyes. I spent the next couple months spiraling, applying for jobs, second-guessing myself, wondering if maybe I really had dropped the ball somehow. The whole time I kept replaying the meeting in my head, the way Jared sneered at me, the way Lauren smirked as she walked past my desk after. It ate me alive. Then one afternoon, maybe 2 months later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was an external auditor assigned to review the company's financials. They said my name had come up because I had been listed as the point of contact for several accounts, and they wanted clarification on certain reconciliations. My heart sank because I knew exactly what this was about. I told the auditor I no longer worked there, but they pressed a little. They asked me if I was aware of discrepancies that had been logged right before my departure. I didn't want to sound bitter or like I was out for revenge, so I kept it factual. I explained that I had tried to address some errors. I documented everything in our system, and that my termination was sudden and related to those accounts. The auditor didn't say much, just thanked me and asked if they could follow up if needed. A few weeks later, I heard through the grapevine what happened. The audit uncovered a trail of negligence and cover-ups. Turns out Lauren had not only failed to reconcile that big account, she'd been skipping other steps too. Jared had been signing off on things without checking, essentially rubber-stamping her work. The mess was way bigger than anyone realized. From what I heard, the company was hit with major penalties, and they lost one of their biggest clients. HR had to answer for why documentation showed me raising concerns that were ignored. Jared's shiny reputation took a huge hit, and suddenly the golden image of his daughter wasn't so golden anymore. Here's the thing. I didn't celebrate when I found out. You'd think I'd feel vindicated, but honestly, it just made me sad. I gave years of my life to that place and was discarded so easily. Seeing them implode didn't bring back what I lost. It didn't erase the months of stress or the way my confidence was shattered. I've since landed on my feet at a new company, one that actually values experience and integrity. My manager checks in with me regularly, and my team respects me. But every now and then, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and think about how quickly loyalty can be repaid with betrayal. I guess the only reason I'm writing this is because I want to let it out somewhere. If you've ever been pushed aside to protect someone else's ego, you know the kind of bitterness it leaves behind. I keep telling myself not to let it define me, and I'm trying to move forward, but man, it still stings. That phone call from the auditor reminded me that the truth has a way of surfacing eventually, even if it takes time. And while I'll never get back what I lost, at least I know deep down that I wasn't crazy. I wasn't incompetent. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people in charge. Sometimes that has to be enough.